785 Porsche GT3s caught fire. Not overheated, not broke down. Caught fire. Engines detonating mid-highway. Owners watching $150,000 cars destroy themselves from the inside out. Porsche made one call to every single owner. Stop driving immediately. Every car, grounded, recalled, dead. And today, those exact cars sell for $220,000. Same engine, same recall. Higher price than the day they shipped. How does a car that literally caught fire become worth more than it started? That's exactly what we're breaking down. And the answer will completely change how you think about what makes something valuable. To understand why it caught fire, you need to know what Porsche killed first. For over a decade, the GT3 ran the Mezger engine. Hans Mezger built Porsche's Le Mans winners. His engine was dry-sumped, in track-bred, motorsport, DNA, in road-legal form. GT3 owners weren't buying a sports car. They were buying a race car with license plates. Porsche killed it for the 991 generation, replaced with a water-cooled unit borrowed from the Carrera S platform, and they removed the manual gearbox entirely, PDK only. The community erupted. Forums called it betrayal. Longtime owners sold their allocations. The debate wasn't whether the new car was fast, it was whether Porsche had abandoned the entire identity of what a GT3 was supposed to be. But here's what most people missed while the argument was happening online. The engineers at Weissach weren't ignoring the criticism. They were answering it. Through the engine itself. And they pushed so hard to prove a point that they pushed the car directly into catastrophe. Stay with this, because what they built next explains everything. The MA1 engine was not a compromise. It was a provocation. 9,000 revolutions per minute. In a road car, that number belongs on a racetrack. And Porsche stamped it onto something you could drive to work. Forged internals, titanium connecting rods, tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter. Car and driver called it one of the most electrifying engines at any price point. On paper, it was faster, louder, and more powerful than the Mezger it replaced. But here's the problem with engineering something to operate at its absolute limit. There is no margin. Every component is calculated to do exactly its job, nothing more. That's what makes it special. That's also what makes a single failure catastrophic. One component fails at 9,000 revolutions per minute, and the engine doesn't slow down. It doesn't warn you. It destroys itself. The engineers knew they were close to the edge. They didn't know one specific component was already beyond it. And this is where the recall actually begins, coming up in 60 seconds. The fires started in Europe. A few cars first, then more, then enough that Porsche couldn't call it coincidence. Root cause, rod bolts, not the titanium rods themselves, not the bearings, not the fuel system. The bolts fastening the connecting rods together were failing under sustained high RPM load. When a rod bolt fails at 9,000 RPM, the rod separates. The engine separates with it. Oil, heat, metal, fire. February 2014. Porsche issued the stop drive order. Not limit highway use. Not avoid track days. Full stop. Do not drive your car. Every GT3, every owner, worldwide. 785 engines recalled. Production halted entirely. Think about what that means as an owner. You waited months for your allocation. You paid $130,000. Your car is now legally grounded in your garage while Porsche figures out whether their flagship performance engine is fundamentally broken. The brand damage wasn't just financial. Every critic who said the MA1 was a shortcut, that Porsche had rushed to replace a legend, was suddenly looking prescient. The question being asked loudly, not quietly, was whether Porsche had completely lost the plot. And honestly, they had no good answer, until they stopped making excuses and did something almost no manufacturer ever does. Porsche didn't patch the engine. They replaced it. Every single one. 785 complete engine swaps. Not repairs, not revised bolt specifications sent to dealers. Full replacements with redesigned units in every recalled car. Then they extended the powertrain warranty to 10 years and 120,000 miles on a track-focused performance car. That number is almost non-existent in this segment. Ferrari doesn't do it. Lamborghini doesn't do it. Porsche attached their name to a decade-long guarantee on an engine they just had to recall globally. It wasn't legally required. It was a choice. And the community, the same community that had been loudest in their criticism, went quiet. Not because the controversy disappeared. Because Porsche had done something that didn't fit any manufacturer's standard damage control script. They acted with complete accountability. That silence? That's exactly where the value started building. And the price trajectory that follows is something nobody predicted. Geneva Motor Show, 2016. Porsche unveiled the 911R. No rear spoiler. Manual gearbox only. Naturally aspirated flat six. Limited to exactly 991 units, the number matching the generation name. This was not a product launch. This was a direct response. Every argument the community had made, PDK is soulless, the GT3 has lost its identity, Porsche doesn't listen. Porsche answered it in metal. They built the car the critics demanded and made it rare enough that its existence meant something. And the 911R sold out before most people knew it existed. Within months, cars were trading at $500,000, nearly 3 times the list price. One of the fastest appreciating Porsches in modern history. But here's what the 911R actually did to the GT3's value. And this is the part nobody talks about. It confirmed that Porsche understood what the car was supposed to be, which meant the GT3 wasn't a betrayal anymore. It was a chapter in a larger story. And suddenly, owning any part of that story, including the recalled chapter, meant something completely different. The 911R didn't just become valuable, it made everything around it more valuable too. Here's what nobody predicted. The recalled cars started appreciating faster than almost any other modern Porsche, and the corrected MA1 engine proved to be extraordinarily durable. Owners who tracked them hard reported 0 failures. The 10-year warranty held up, and as time passed, the narrative around the engine shifted completely, from the one that caught fire to the one Porsche was forced to make bulletproof. Clean 991 GT3s crossed $200,000, then $220,000. Auction results on Bring a Trailer kept landing above estimate, and the reason is deeply human. There is nothing more convincing than watching someone face catastrophic failure and respond with complete accountability. The recall didn't just fix the cars, it built a level of trust that a flawless launch never could have created. Owners who lived through the stop-drive order, who got their cars back with warranted, redesigned engines, became the most credible advocates the model has ever had. They didn't just own a GT3, they owned the proof that Porsche backs their engineering even when it fails. That story is now permanently baked into the value of every 991 GT3 on the market. A car costs more because it broke, because the response to breaking it was extraordinary. This was never really about rod bolts. It's about what a brand is made of when the engineering fails publicly and completely. Porsche had every tool in the standard manufacturer playbook available. Minimize the scope. Repair rather than replace. Let time bury the story. Every major automaker has done exactly this, and most get away with it. Porsche replaced 785 engines, extended a decade-long warranty, then built 991 hand-built. Manual-only cars, specifically to answer their critics by name. The result is a vehicle whose failure story is the value story. The 991 GT3 isn't legendary because it was perfect. It's legendary because it wasn't, and Porsche refused to pretend otherwise. That distinction is worth $100,000 in today's market and climbing. If you want more stories like this, not press releases, not spec comparisons, the actual version of what happened behind these cars, subscribe, because there are a dozen more where this came from, and most of them never get told this way.